In this video, we take a look at fossil fuel and help you decide whether or not you should add fossil fuel to your Steam library. Fossil Fuel is a game that combines Jurassic Park with Half-Life, which makes it a horror action shooter. In the beginning, everything is fine inside an underground lab, but of course everything goes to hell and you find yourself in a situation where you're fighting for your life. But is this a game that you should add to your Steam library? That's exactly what I asked myself as I was trying this game. The thought of combining Half-Life with Jurassic Park certainly sounded enticing, so I had to give it a try. Right out of the gate, I did notice that the graphics weren't exactly the best, and a good example of this is in the cafeteria. Looking at the details, you notice that the graphics may be good for a game released back in the Half-Life era, or maybe when Half-Life 2 came out, so I wasn't really blown away. I'm running the game on the highest graphics settings on my RTX 2080, and it's nothing to get excited about. If you take a look at some of the reviews on the Steam page for this game, you'll find that a lot of people comment that it looks like basic repurposed Unreal Engine assets, and I'd have to agree. But it isn't necessarily the graphics that make the game, so let's take a little bit of a look into the gameplay aspect that Fossil Fuel offers. By default, it is a first-person shooter, and I was a little surprised that the inventory system reminded me of a game of Resident Evil from many years ago. It is basic, and it does work, but at the same time, we've come to expect a little more complicated and user-friendly systems when interacting with all the stuff we collect in the game. Saving is done through the blue laptops or tablets that you can find scattered throughout the game, and it brings me back to a time when we measured our progress by hitting save points. I really felt that this is something you would see on a console and not so much on a PC game, so it just really felt out of place. But the worst part of the game comes down to the progression through the areas. You are led down a path where you need to find key cards to pass through new areas. This reminds me of the days of early first-person shooters or console games where you basically spent your time running back and forth looking for the keys to advance your progress. My first playthrough, before I died, I completely missed the yellow key card and ended up dying as a result. While I learned from this mistake the second time around, it didn't make it much further before dying again. And where do you think I started again when I was brought back to life? If you guessed the save point, then you are correct. Basically, I had moved 5 minutes into the past and I have to replay sneaking around a dinosaur and finding the yellow key card again. It was at this point I lost interest in the game. This is the exact reason why I don't play console games anymore, as I can't stand tediousness of replaying the same section of the game over and over every time I die just to progress to the next save point. I know that other players out there won't have a problem with this dynamic, and maybe the game will appeal to them, but in my case, Fossil Fuel does not belong in my Steam library. Have you played Fossil Fuel? What did you like or dislike? I'd really like to hear your thoughts on this game in the comment section below. It will really help others to decide whether or not they should buy this game. If you aren't sure after watching the video whether this game is for you or not, there's a demo on their store page which I will link to below that will give you a taste of what to expect from this game. I think that about wraps it up for Fossil Fuel. Thank you for watching today, and we'll catch you in the next video.